Hey guys, it's Karuma here, and Heist DLC has finally arrived for GTA 5. So in this video I'm going to be covering all of the new vehicles that they've added, be showing you some gameplay of them and going over all the details. Now at the moment these vehicles are only available in online. It could be that they'll just appear in single player later when Rockstar's fix the issue. Now if you do go online and you can't see any of the vehicles in the shops, that's because you have to unlock the vehicles first through Heist. So I'm going to go over the new vehicles now. This isn't necessarily the order that you'll unlock them when you're playing the heists. The first one I'm going to be covering is the new sports car, the Karin Kuruma. So this is one of the cheaper vehicles that they've added in. It costs just under $100,000 and $95,000. And this car is pretty nice. It's a 4-seater, it's pretty fast on the road and it's pretty good off-road as well. And in my opinion it does look pretty nice as well. You can customise it and put quite a few mods on there and get it to look really nice. And for 95 grand I'd say it's a pretty good deal. So I definitely recommend getting this car. You can customise all of the bumpers, spoilers, stuff like that. As well as putting like your underlights and stuff on. You can get it to look really nice without having to spend too much money. Now there's also another version of this car, the armoured version, called the Karin Kuruma Armoured. And this one's a lot more expensive at $525,000, which is pretty pricey, but it is completely bulletproof. And it looks a lot nicer with like the armour plated windows and stuff. And also the sound of the engine now is a lot different. It sounds more tuned up, it sounds really nice. And you can change the colour of this as well to whatever colour you want, even though it's mainly shown in like the trailer and stuff as black. It still remains a 4-seater, and even though it's got all the armour plating on, it doesn't affect the handling. If anything, the handling's better. It also adds a lot of detailing on like the roof and on the hood of the armour plating, which makes it look a bit nicer. And it's perfect for free roam and stuff, because it means players aren't going to be able to shoot you quite so easily. And obviously the perfect car for heists, because it's fully bulletproof, fast, good on-road, good off-road. And it's a 4-seater, so you can get the whole crew in there. And at 525 grand, I'd say it's a pretty good deal if you want a fast armoured car. But if you aren't too bothered about the speed, then you want to go for the next vehicle, which is the heavy Insurgent. And this comes in a little pricier at $675,000. And this is quite a big armoured truck. It's got big chunky wheels, it's pretty good off-road, although the handling isn't great because of its size. And you can actually get 8 people in this, so 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 2 in the very back and 2 hanging on the sides, which is pretty awesome. And this thing can pretty much just ram any vehicle off the road, so if you aren't too bothered about speed, I'd go for this one over the Karuma. And I say it'd be pretty good in heists if you have to make a quick getaway under heavy fire. There's all the extra armour and you're able to carry a lot more people. And all of the people in the vehicle are protected apart from the people hanging on the outside. But if you do want to take it up an extra notch and have a bit more firepower added, you can get the heavy Insurgent Pickup, which is basically the same as the Insurgent except it's a pickup version. So the 2 back seats are exposed so you can shoot people in the back, but it does pack a massive machine gun on the top, which can be mounted by one of the passengers in the vehicle. So this one actually holds 9 people now because of the turret gunner. So the version with the gun on also has some bars across the front to help you if you roll over and stuff. But just like the other version, it's got big chunky wheels, it's great on the road and off the road. The handling's still a bit not great because of its size, and although it does have a mounted gun on it which adds a lot more firepower, if you roll the truck you can kill the gunner, and the 2 people in the back are exposed. So it gives you less armour overall if you want to like carry people around and stuff. But the firepower should make up for it because you'll be able to actually kill them. Now the next vehicle, following off from those big trucks, is another truck, but it's a bit more like a civilian one. It's not armour plated or anything, but it is big, and that's the Vapid Guardian. And it's a lot cheaper as well, it just comes in at $375,000, which isn't too bad really for that size of vehicle. And this vehicle has a capacity of 6 people, so 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and 2 right in the very back. So although this is a little bit sort of faster and a better handling than the armoured versions, it does come at a price being that there is no armour plating or anything, so you can quite easily get shot. But it's still got the big size and the weight behind it, so you can easily ram other vehicles off the road. And it's pretty good off-road as well. It's pretty similar to the Vapid Sanking that's already in the game, but it's a lot bigger and with some extra modifications on it. Now the next vehicle is a bike, and this is the Dinka Enduro. It only costs $48,000, which is nice and cheap, although it is only a dirt bike, so it's quite expensive for just that, considering the Sanchez is like 12 grand. Although this one is more of a classic looking dirt bike. In terms of handling and performance, it's pretty much the same as the Sanchez, maybe a little bit quicker. It'd be perfect for the heist where you just have 2 people needing to do something quite fast, you can just sort of run and gun from places, a passenger on the back. But it's a pretty standard bike, nothing too special about it. and it comes quite cheap, and you can buy this vehicle from Southern San Andreas Autosport. Moving on to the next vehicle, it's the one that everyone's been most excited about, and that's the Hydra. So this is a vertical takeoff and landing fighter jet, pretty similar to the jet that's already in the game, the Laser, except this one can take off vertically, so you can also like hover it and just hover it, which makes it a lot easier to shoot people on the ground and that. It also means that you're a lot easier to take out of the sky. If you want to change between hover mode and flight mode, you just press right on the D-pad. This has got lock-on missiles as well as non-lock-on missiles, and the explosive round machine gun in the front. And with the vertical takeoff and landing, it means you can land it in like really tight spaces and on roofs and stuff. But all that does come at a price, as this is the most expensive vehicle in the new DLC, coming in at $3 million. In terms of handling and speed, it seems just as fast really as the other jet, and the handling's great, apart from where the only thing I notice is when you put it into hover mode from flight mode, it does take a while to sort of come to a stop and actually hover. It just sort of drifts around and it's quite hard to control. It's quite hard to steer it in the direction you want it to go. But other than that, it's a really great jet, and even though it is $3 million, I say it is worth it if you have that kind of money to throw around, although it might require you to buy a few shark cards. So moving on to the next vehicle is the Karin Rebel Technical, or just a Technical, but it is based off the Karin Rebel. This comes in, it's quite overpriced, I'd say at $950,000, as it's just a basic sort of rusted pickup truck with a mounted gun on the back, although it is a heavy machine gun and does pack quite a big punch. But this vehicle will only hold 3 people, and it doesn't have any armour, so I'd say at $950,000 is a bit of a rip-off really, but it is quite good off-road, and it is quite fast, but I'd definitely go for the Insurgent over this. Another thing that this has that the Karin Rebel doesn't is a slightly bigger sort of bull bars on the front, which makes it a little bit better for ramming other vehicles, but it's still not as good as the Insurgent vehicles, so all in all I'd say don't bother buying this vehicle unless you really like the look of it. Next up is a civilian classic car, the Lampadati Casco, coming in at $680,000. It's a bit expensive, but a lot of classic cars in this game are, and you can buy this from Southern San Andreas Autosport. Now I'm not usually a fan of the classic cars in this game, but this one's the first one that's really appealed to me. I quite like the look of it, and it handles quite nicely and it just looks quite nice. There's a few upgrades now you can put on it, but mainly it looks quite good default just as a stock version. It's quite nice to just drive around, the handling's quite nice for a classic car, and the speed and performance on that's pretty good as well. So if you're a fan of classic cars, I would recommend buying this, but it does have quite a high price tag of $680,000. So personally I might leave it until I bought some of the bigger stuff first. But if you do have some money left over after all of this, maybe give this car a thought. The next vehicle is another bike, and the most expensive bike in the game yet, coming in at $750,000. To me that seems like a massive rip-off, but I guess if you're really into your bikes, this one would be pretty good. The main reason this one's so expensive is because it comes with the NOS boost, so when you're racing or just driving around you can get a quick boost to the nitrous, which will give you a nice boost and get away from anyone who's chasing you or if you're in a race. Now this bike's very similar to the bike that was added not too long ago, the Principe Nemesis. Just looks a little bit different, but depends really how badly you want the boost. Personally I'd say just stick with the Nemesis. This one is really expensive, to be honest, $750,000. That is a lot of money. And in terms of the speed and the handling, it's pretty good but nothing special really. So I'd probably avoid this vehicle unless you're really serious about racing bikes. The next vehicle is a new helicopter, the Savage. And this one's fairly cheap for what it is, coming in at $1,950,000. You can buy this from the Warstock website once you've unlocked it. And it's a pretty big attack helicopter with guns and rockets. This helicopter is capable of carrying 4 people, so you can now have a pilot and 3 passengers. It has lock-on missiles and non-lock-on missiles. There's also no reload time for the missiles, so you can fire them almost as fast as you want, which gives it an advantage over, say, the Buzzard. And then it's also got the big, powerful, explosive round machine gun in the nose. All of the weapons are fired by the pilot only. So this is a favourite of mine. I probably will get this helicopter as soon as I can afford it. In terms of speed and agility and that, it's quite fast, it's pretty fast I'd say. The handling's not amazing because it is quite a big helicopter, but it's certainly not bad. And it does have a certain amount of armour to it, but nothing too much. You could easily get a shot out of the cockpit from someone on the ground if they're a good enough shot. I think this helicopter would be a massive advantage in missions and heists and that, and in free roam if you needed it, as it packs so much firepower, and the pilot can control all of the weapons, so you don't need more people in there to fire the guns. But you can pick up extra passengers if you needed to, so you could get the whole crew in there for a heist if you had to, as well as packing a lot of firepower. So I would strongly recommend this helicopter, as it is pretty cheap for what it offers. But if you are a little bit strapped for cash, then you might have to decide between this helicopter and this one, the Valkyrie, the new helicopter they've added in. And they're both pretty cool, but this one's got miniguns on the side, so it appeals better for people who maybe play with their friends more, and they were going to have their friends in the helicopter a lot more. But this helicopter is a lot more expensive. It comes in at 2,850,000, so I'm not sure if it's worth it over the Savage helicopter, which is a lot cheaper, and the pilot can control all of the weapons. With this one, the pilot doesn't control any of the weapons, but rather the 2 passengers in the back can control the miniguns, and then the co-pilot, or the passenger in the front, can control the explosive round machine gun on the nose of the helicopter using the CCTV style camera. So it is really good, but only if you're going to have other people in the helicopter with you, otherwise it isn't all that great. So I'd also strongly recommend this helicopter as well, but if you do have to choose between this one and the Savage, I'd probably be more swayed to go with the Savage, just because if you're the only person in there you can still fire all of the guns, it packs a lot of firepower. This one's a lot more nimble, you can get in and land in tighter places and stuff, so it might be better for heists. But it is really cool to fly around in free roam and just have someone in the side gunner gunning down people on the street, so it's up to you which one you prefer. So that's all of the main vehicles that have been added in, but they've also added in a few sort of extra vehicles that were already in the game but you can now purchase through the websites and stuff. So there's a couple of new trucks that they've added in you can buy, like the Boxfill, which you use on one of the heist missions. There's also a new version of the Mule, and you can now buy the Mesa, which is the Merryweather style Jeep, which you couldn't buy before. You had to sort of steal it from the Merryweather people at some point. And you can also buy the Prison Bus, which is pretty cool, although it is 550,000, which is quite expensive. And you've also made the Gang Burrito available to purchase now, and you can tune the other versions of the vans, so vans would be pretty cool for heist missions as well. So that is all of the vehicles that have been added in with this DLC. So the total cost of all of these vehicles that they've added is going to come to just over 12 million GTA dollars, which is a hell of a lot of money. So you might want to start buying shark cards now in order to be able to afford them, if you are planning on buying all the vehicles. Not to mention all of the new clothing and gadgets and stuff they've added in, and masks. But that is all the vehicles that they've added in. If you want to see all the new clothing and gadgets and stuff that they've added in, then check out our next video, they should be coming out soon. But other than that, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've been Gromit, and thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see some more videos like this. And feel free to leave a comment if you've got any extra information you want to leave, or if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them. And good luck saving up money to try and buy these cars.